Welcome to episode 99 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a group for this podcast on Ravelry where you can participate in make-alongs and the occasional giveaway. I also have a Ko-fi page where you can support me and the podcast. There is a make-along running now, the Tea Time Mal, but it's about to end. Deadline is May 31st at midnight, and if you have finished your project and haven't put the picture in yet, do so. And the Instagram hashtag is TeaTimeMal2023, and there will be a pattern prize on Instagram. And it's no problem going to edit a post on Instagram if you want to add the hashtag after the fact. I might struggle with where to look today because I have my new camera hooked up as a webcam, and the viewfinder isn't working as such when there's a fold-out viewfinder on this, but when I hook it up as a webcam, that doesn't work. So I stare at the hood for the microphone. So I have my computer screen down here, and normally when I use a webcam, I can see the screen, but I can't see the screen today. Pardon me. I haven't bought a tripod yet. I'm going to get a tripod as soon as possible, so the next time I record a podcast, I might not be sitting here, I might sit somewhere else, because I'll be much more free about where I sit when I just have the tripod and the camera. And then I'll just use the memory card to transfer. The main benefit of doing it like this is that everything is stored on my computer. Nothing is stored on the memory card in the camera. So I hope this turns out. I've tested it, different setups, and I think this should work. The colors are a bit flat. They look like that to me, but I'll find out when I edit this. So, as you can see, I'm not wearing any knitwear today either, but I am wearing dice as earrings. I got this from Candy Goblin on Etsy, and I love them. She's used normal D20 die, and she's put hooks in them, and I really love these. So I'll be wearing these a bit, I think. And I'm wearing a t-shirt that I got last weekend in Tromsø, because Hard Rock Cafe has opened a branch in Tromsø. So we had dinner there with my son, because we went up there last weekend to get the first part of his stuff, and hubby is going back there early tomorrow morning to get my son and the rest of his things. So starting tomorrow night, late probably, my son is back living with us. So I'm really looking forward to having him back. This is only a temporary measure. He's moving out again as soon as he can find a place to live. So it's not like he's moving back with his mother for all eternity. But I'm not kicking him out. He can stay as long as he wants. That was life stuff. I'm not supposed to do that at the beginning, but you know me. That's normally how this works. I just going to check. One make-along is ending May 31st, and a new one is starting June 1st, and it's the Arctic Summer of Socks. And since you're allowed to enter socks you started before June 1st, as long as you're not finished the first sock of the pair, you can enter them. And this goes all summer. And at the end of August, I'll be drawing prices. I'll put aside some yarn from my clearance sale for prices, and I'll look through my stash. If anybody wants to donate yarn as prices for the sock, for the Arctic Summer of Socks, I'll be really happy. Bags are also popular. But I'll have to see through my own stash of both bags and yarn, because why not use some of it? I was thinking about destashing some yarn and some bags, but why not use it as prices first and foremost? So I think that's maybe one of the things I'll do this time. I'll pick from my own stash. And the clearance sale, I'm adding some yarn tomorrow. I'm not showing it to you today because it's not completely dry, so it's hanging in the bathroom, but we're talking Eton Mess sock sets, Pretty in Pink on Polldale and Corriedale, and what's the other one? Purple Rain on Corriedale and Polldale. I put aside all the yarn I want to keep for myself for dyeing later, and I've sold a bit of undyed. I was talking about closing the shop August 31st. I might do it sooner, because if I run out of yarn, there's no point in keeping the shop open, but I'll keep you posted. But if you wanted to get some yarn 25% off, now's the time to do it, because when I run out, I'm closing the shop. I then have to do something about my intro, but I know it by heart, so I have to cut out the Etsy part in the start. I'm going to keep on doing this. That's why I bought this camera. I bought a proper camera because I'm going to be more active on YouTube as soon as I close the shop. I might do dyeing vlogs if there's any interest for that, because all my secret sauce is no longer, there's no need to keep it a secret, so I might dye up some of my more popular colorways and put it on YouTube, because I don't have to keep it a secret anymore, so you can dye up yourself if you feel like it. So that's one thing I'm probably going to do. I might do an Arctic summer vlog again this year. I did that some years ago and it was really popular, and I think I only called it Arctic summer, I think, and put up a weekly vlog during the summer, and then maybe show some knitting in those episodes instead of doing a proper podcast in addition to the weekly vlog. I haven't decided on anything because it's been crazy the last couple of weeks, or since it's been a bit crazy busy here since my son told me he wanted to move back, because I had to start clearing out the spare bedroom. And it was it's like it was meant to be, because when he told me that, I already had decided to close the shop. So I'm downsizing as it is, because I'm selling yarn and it's less and less, so I can make room for his stuff. So it's sort of like it was meant to be. So next week is going to be even more busy, because then me and him is going to we're going to move around a bit, move stuff a bit, try to get him settled. So, and the new hotel in town just released their menu for their restaurant, and there was a lot of really good looking stuff on there, and we decided that my husband's birthday in June we're going to celebrate there, go out for a meal. I'm buying. What about that? I have an income, so I can actually buy hubby dinner. That feels really great. And I had to stop dyeing yarn to have an income. That's bizarre, but that's how it is. So I have a couple of cats around me, all three of them actually, because as you can tell, it's overcast and it's been windy and it's been raining and we had a hailstorm, so they're not exactly enjoying being outside. More life stuff. I still haven't started talking about the knitting. Let's talk about some knitting, even though I haven't done a lot of knitting. I have 2 finished objects for you that I can show you. I have my Felix cardigan. It doesn't look like much. I was looking at the screen, sorry. It doesn't look like much because I haven't woven in the ends or blocked it because I finished it late last night. But my Felix cardigan is finished. So that's, and I did the button band, but I didn't do buttons or buttonholes because I'm not going to close it anyway, so I do the extra work. And there was one finished object that I finished a long time ago and even sent away. It was some socks that I test knit for stone knits. So the finished pair I can't show you because I sent them away as a present. This is the ones I'm knitting for myself. This is a hoe. I finished one of them, and this pattern is called Flamboyant Flamingos, and it's part of a set, and the other sock is called Shrimply the Best, and the set is called Why Are Flamingos Pink. I'm using the same yarn for this as I used for the first pair, but I changed the colors around because I had 2 full skeins. So I just changed the colors around on mine. So the first pair I used Storm Surge. This is Storm Surge for the main color, and Headless Flamingos Sparkly for the flamingos. I'm not sure you can tell that this is sparkly, but these are for me. So that's what I have for finished objects because I haven't gotten a lot of knitting done. And when it comes to whips, active whips, well, I haven't got any that I have been working on because I have the sew top that I showed you last time. I haven't touched it. I've been knitting on the Felix and another test knit for stone knits that I can show you later. That's what happens when you do test knitting. I love knitting her patterns, so when she sent out a call for a test knit, I just threw myself out there. I'm knitting more of her socks, but I have decided what pair to knit next, but I have to finish those first and a few other things. I'm planning on tomorrow. I'm having the house to myself all day, and one of the things I'm planning on doing tomorrow is caking up all the yarn for my La Prairie. I'm no good in French, by Hohi Locatelli, because I have I bought a 5 skein fade for that, and I have to cake up all the yarn. If I didn't have to cake up 5 skeins of yarn, I would have casted that on a long time ago. I'm not. Are you like that as well? That you postpone starting things if you have to cake up a lot of yarn? I have to cake up 1 more skein of yarn because this is future knitting. Knitters and Critters are starting make along June 1st. I can't remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. I just paused the recording to find everything you needed to know about to make along, instead of sitting here just trying to think of it. So it's the Knitters and Critters make along, and cast on is June 1st, and the theme is TTRPGs or tabletop role-playing games, and yarn or pattern that is related to that. And you can even just, if you can explain in a way that makes sense, I think you can do just about anything. Anyway, that runs throughout the summer, like my make-along. And it's the Knitters and Critters make-along. If you check their Instagram profile or their podcast, you can probably find out more. But what I was going to tell you is that I'm going to participate in that make-along. I'm also donating a prize for it, by the way. But I'm going to participate. And I've picked out this yarn from the Knittical Roll Club from Chromatic Yarns. And this colorway is Maybe I'll Write a Song About You, and it's inspired by the bard in Bell's Health, Dorian Storm. He's not a part of the team now. He's somewhere else on Alexandria, but anyway, this is inspired by Dorian Storm, the bard from Bell's Health. And this is a really variegated yarn, and I wanted to knit a pair of socks, and I was looking for patterns that would work with variegated. And then I found a pattern by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears called the Wizardy Socks, and I thought that's just perfect. Okay, so Dorian is a bard, and the pattern is called the Wizardy Socks, but bards can cast a few spells. So anyways, Wizardy Socks with Maybe I'll Write a Song About You from Chromatic Yarns. So that's something you can cast on before June 1st, but you can't be more than 10% done. So that's one of the, so I'm also caking up that yarn tomorrow. I have the house to myself, and my ball winder sort of makes a really irritating sound or noise more, and I don't want to bother my husband with that noise. I should probably just oil it. That would probably get rid of that irritating noise, but I'll just cake up the yarn tomorrow when I have the house to myself. We're doing quite a bit of grocery shopping today, and because hubby doesn't eat fish or seafood, I'm having seafood for dinner tomorrow. Not sure what yet, but I can guarantee you I'm having seafood for dinner tomorrow. My son eats fish and seafood, so 2 against 1. So maybe hubby will have to have some takeaway from time to time. We'll see. I'm taking my son out for sushi. One of the first days after we moved in, I think. We'll just take the car one day while my hubby is at work, and we'll drive to the next town over, because there's a sushi restaurant there that does a lunch buffet, and it's all you can eat sushi. So I'll take my son there, and we'll have a mother-son lunch, eating all you can eat sushi. I don't think we'll need dinner that day, either of us, basically. So that's something we'll do probably next week. I sort of weed off what I was going to talk about, but again, I don't have a lot of knitting, so sorry about that. That's what happens when you're busy. I've done some spinning, and I realized that I actually find it easier spinning with hand-dyed fiber than undyed fiber. The undyed fiber is more slippery, if that makes sense. So I prefer the hand-dyed fiber, and I have a bit of undyed fiber because I bought a kilo of undyed fiber from my English supplier, Corriedale, to dye up for sale. It was a lot of work dyeing fiber, because you have to be careful so you don't felt it, and so it's a long process dyeing fiber. So I ended up just dyeing fiber and not selling it, and I had that fiber lying around, so that's what I started with. And as I said, the undyed fiber is sort of trickier to spin with. So I'm going to dye up more fiber for spinning. and I'm going to get some more fiber and dye it up myself. I can't afford buying already dyed fiber as long as the Norwegian krona is as weak as it is. Everything is about twice the price as it was before, so I can't buy yarn from England. I have bought one skein of yarn from England, so maybe I'm now going into show and tell. This is Chimera from River Knits. I had 2 skeins into other colorways, and I wanted 3 matching colors, so I bought this skein of Air. These are 50 gram skeins, so I can afford to buy one of these without them putting VAT on and customs on it. Or VAT I have to pay, but not customs. So 50 gram skeins I can buy. So that's something I bought. And something I bought, I think I didn't show you this the last time I recorded because I forgot about it. But look what I found in a shop, in a bookstore in the next town over. It's Lærke Bagger. She's Danish. She's sort of a rebel. And this entire book is all about knitting with leftovers and different techniques for tying yarn together. And you can tell it's about embroidery on sweaters and different techniques for making leftover. I have a lot of leftovers, so this was perfect. Really love this book. I've been looking through it, and I might not use the patterns from this book, but I'm going to use the techniques from this. Well, it turns out that the camera turned itself off, so maybe there's something about time limit or something. I have to check that. That is sort of a bummer if I have to, if I only have a 30-minute window. I'll learn to work with that, I guess. But again, that's sort of a bummer. Anyways, I was talking about this book. I was finished talking about this book, I think. But anyways, I recommend this book. And one more thing I got in the mail. One of my subscribers, who is also a podcaster, sent me, she has a Norwegian podcast, Den Glade Tråd, and she makes bags. She's a really talented quilter, and she makes bags. And she sent me a bag, and she told me I could do whatever I wanted with it. I presume she meant I could use it as a prize, but I'm not doing that. I want this one myself. It's colors that make you happy. And the sun came out. I'm taking that as a sign that I should stop recording. But I'm going to talk about this first. So this is a bag she made me. And I really love this bag. And it's got some words of wisdom on the inside. Really love this. And if you, this is her Instagram for this. She also has an Instagram for her podcast, Den Glade Tråd. She doesn't have a shop. I keep looking down at the screen. I'm trying to get used to looking at the camera. Sorry. She doesn't have a shop. When she has a bag for sale, she puts it up on Instagram. And that's how it works. She makes bags because she enjoys to make them. Not necessarily to sell them. I get it. Because that's what I'm doing from now on. I'm dyeing yarn when I want to, because I enjoy doing it. I might record some dyeing if you're interested. I might dye up yarn for prices, for sweater quantities for myself, but not for sale. And as I said, clearance sale, still going 25% as long as I have yarn in the shop. or maybe I close the shop before I run out of yarn, depending. And I think I talked about everything I was going to talk about. There will be a podcast as usual in 2 weeks. And I'll just stop now and edit this, so I'm ready to go when hubby gets home to pick me up, so we can do some grocery shopping, because Monday is the shops are closed on Monday. So I think it's Pentecost in English this weekend, so we have Monday off and the shops are closed. So, and my son moves in tomorrow evening, so we're going grocery shopping today, and we have to start thinking about feeding 3 people instead of 2 people, so we have to do a bit different quantities. But my son said he wanted to do some cooking after he moved in, though, because he really enjoys cooking, but he's had a tiny kitchen, and it hasn't been any fun to cook, so he wants to do some cooking when he gets here. I'm not denying him that. If I can sit down for a ready-made dinner, not complaining. Anyways, I have a cat that is complaining about me talking to you instead of letting him out, so I'm ending it here, and I'll try to figure out why my camera turned itself off. I'm hoping that it's going to cut out after 30 minutes, because that is going to get annoying. Anyways, I'm not sure you can hear him, but anyways, I'm going to stop now. Stop my rambling and get on with my day. I'll see you in 2 weeks, on YouTube at least, much sooner on Instagram. So hope you have a really nice weekend, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.